From ABC News, World News Sunday. Substituting for Forrest Sawyer, here's Carol Simpson.
Good evening. Death penalty opponents are celebrating a last-minute court ruling that has blocked California from executing double murderer Robert Alton Harris, at least temporarily. California prosecutors are now scrambling for an appeals court hearing in hopes of sending Harris to the gas chamber as scheduled on Tuesday. The story from Walter Rogers.
Harris won the temporary reprieve after a federal judge issued a restraining order last night setting a new hearing 10 days from now. Harris's stay of execution stemmed from an American Civil Liberties Union appeal challenging California's gas chamber as cruel and unusual punishment. In some cases, it has taken convicted murderers more than 11 minutes to die there.
The evidence is overwhelming that it is the most barbaric form of execution still in existence today.
Harris murdered two San Diego teenagers in 1978 to use their car for a bank robbery. He could still be executed if prosecutors can persuade a federal appeals court judge to reverse yesterday's stay of execution. The father of one of Harris's victims wants the execution to go ahead.
The ACLU was able to locate a liberal judge that does not believe in the death penalty, and consequently, she bought their argument.
35 states now have death penalty laws, but only California, Arizona, and Maryland use lethal gas for execution.
This is a frontal attack on the method by which the death penalty is to be executed.
The prosecution and defense in the Harris case are prepared to go to the U.S. Supreme Court in a fight that is rekindling passions on both sides of the death penalty debate. Walter Rogers, ABC News, Washington.
Activists on both sides of the abortion issue have chosen Buffalo, New York as their new battleground. Protesters for and against abortion rights gathered there this weekend for large-scale demonstrations that begin tomorrow. Karen Burns is in Buffalo.
Not the church, not the state,
the battle lines have been drawn. Already they are etched on Buffalo's streets.
This is a serious cultural civil war. It's not a game. And just pray that God will move mightily in Buffalo.
Anti-abortion forces are calling it Spring of Life. Their latest plan is to lead a 2-week campaign of civil disobedience, testing the law, blocking and closing Buffalo's abortion clinics.
To bring chaos and disorder to the city, and that is what they are, that is their plan. Our plan is to defend the clinics, and that is what we are going to do.
All right, we have a patient coming through. Go through.
Abortion activists say they are ready to take on Operation Rescue and keep the clinics open. When Operation Rescue moved into Wichita last summer, anti-abortion forces held the city hostage for 43 days. Despite that, Buffalo's mayor invited Operation Rescue in. Most here regret the invitation.
You're going to have pro-choice and pro-life people at each other's throats, and I think it's going to be a black mark for Buffalo and Western New York on the national scene.
It is against this backdrop that the Supreme Court will hear arguments Wednesday in a Pennsylvania abortion case, making demonstrations here for both sides seem all the more urgent. Karen Burns, ABC News, Buffalo.
The Supreme Court isn't the only place where an official showdown is brewing over abortion rights. Bill Greenwood reports that the Democratic Party is facing an internal struggle over policy as abortion rights opponents within its ranks become increasingly vocal.
The Operation Rescue effort in Buffalo is certain to keep the abortion issue high on the political agenda.
No more!
Add the fact that both major Democratic presidential candidates are in lockstep on the opposite side.
I don't believe we can be one country until we respect a woman's right to choose.
And the right of a woman to be free from someone telling her how to control her body.
Most people know the Democratic Party officially supports the right to an abortion. But it's not well known that 1/3 of Democrats in the House of Representatives oppose the policy. In this letter to Democratic National Committee Chairman Ron Brown, they said the party's stand is poor politics.
Across the country, a big chunk of the voting bloc that has been a Democratic constituency over the years includes those who hold a pro-life view.
Chairman Brown says he is sympathetic, but insists there's no room for talk of compromise language.
It just doesn't fit what the party policy is. It doesn't fit what a majority of Democrats believe. I think it doesn't fit what a majority of the American people believe.
As they campaign for support, the Democratic candidates see no reason to reconsider their position.
Yeah, I believe that we as a party and as a people should stand very strongly for privacy.
I have no problem with any Democrat who, for religious or moral reasons, opposes abortion.
The candidates would have a big problem if the anti-abortion Democrats in Congress started a divisive fight at the party's convention.
But party leaders think other issues will be more decisive. Despite the large minority of Democrats who oppose abortion, they hope convention delegates and voters will be influenced more by the economy and social issues. Bill Greenwood, ABC News, Washington.
Coming up, with the government in Kabul collapsing, Afghan rebels are trying to avoid a bloody scramble for power. Why the Serbs are fighting against independence for one former Yugoslav republic. And later in this broadcast, a unique cattle ranch where both business and the environment are thriving.
World News Sunday, brought to you by the Discover Card.
If you're using a credit card to get a cash advance, you're probably getting soaked, because ordinary cards charge you interest right from day one, which is why you should use the Discover Card. Just pay your full monthly balance and a small transaction fee, and we'll give you cash, interest-free. So you can avoid taking a bath. It pays to Discover.
I try to ignore my sensitive teeth, but they hurt.
Don't ignore your sensitive teeth. Sensodyne helps stop the pain that can make you stop brushing. Could lead even to tooth loss.
Thanks, Sensodyne.
Sensodyne helps stop the pain and the domino effect.
You make me feel so young.
Promise Extra Light Spread. Half the saturated fat and calories of margarine and a taste you'll enjoy with all your heart.
You make me feel so young.
Promise Extra Light. Get heart smart.
The government of Afghanistan continues to lose control of power as the Mujahideen rebels seize more key towns and territory. Guerrilla leaders say they will hold off an overthrow of the leaders in Kabul until they form their own government. To do that, the Muslim rebels are trying to put aside their rivalries to avoid a bloody scramble for power. Fighting raged anew in the former Yugoslav Republic of Bosnia-Herzegovina today, with the Serb-led Yugoslav army shelling the historic southern city of Mostar. The continuing struggle among the republic's main ethnic groups, Serbs, Croats, and Muslims, has put a severe strain on international peacemaking efforts. Barry Dunsmore reports.
It was not a happy Easter in Sarajevo. This capital of Bosnia-Herzegovina continues to be the focal point of the latest chapter of the civil war in Yugoslavia. In recent days, the people of Sarajevo have been subjected to artillery and mortar attacks by Serbian militiamen and the regular Yugoslav, mainly Serbian army. The Serbs are trying to reverse the decision taken by the majority last month to establish an independent state of Bosnia-Herzegovina. The Serbs represent just over 30% of the population, but they want to remain part of Serbia, and they have most of the guns.
We're going to show our teeth this time, and we're going to show them very badly.
The Serbs have indeed been showing their teeth. Hundreds of civilians have been killed, and 160,000 people have been turned into refugees trying to escape the fighting. Former Secretary of State Cyrus Vance has been at the forefront of the UN effort to get the Serbs to stop the killing. Standing beside the Serbian leader, Vance did not mince words.
I believe that those who think you can resolve the problem by violence, by more killing, are dead wrong.
But Slobodan Milosevic, who is seen by Washington as a Serbian Saddam Hussein, is not moved by words. Once the world cared about ethnic or ideological disputes in the Balkans, Sarajevo was the site of the assassination of the Austrian Archduke Ferdinand, which ignited World War I. And the Cold War made Yugoslavia important, but not anymore.
It's a tragedy for the local people there, and perhaps for some of the neighbors, but there will not be a world war because the area has lost its strategic importance for East and West alike.
So far, Bosnia-Herzegovina has been given mainly moral support from the outside world. If it is to survive in the coming weeks, it will need more than that. Barry Dunsmore, ABC News, Washington.
When we come back, children cleaning up the earth for their own sake.
If one word were to characterize the all-new Toyota Camry, it's change, starting with a more powerful 185 horsepower V6. We've also changed the suspension for improved stability and more responsive handling. And we even changed something called the camber angle on our front wheels for greater control, because we're not the only ones making changes. The all-new 1992 Toyota Camry. We just couldn't leave well enough alone.
We built this business. He was wearing those night vision goggles at me. Otherwise, he never could have seen me. Rescued me.
They taught me computer drafting. I earned a degree. Now I've got a job.
They make the parts that connect my pacemaker. Never thought I'd be around to tell you that.
We built this business to build your dreams.
People love the old type of granola because it was loaded with great taste. They didn't know it was also loaded with fat. Introducing a new type of granola. New Kellogg's low-fat granola. For the new granola type. All the delicious whole grains, almonds, and raisins you love, but only half the fat of leading granolas. So if you like the great taste of granola, but don't want all the fat, try new Kellogg's low-fat granola. Great taste, half the fat.
Red Devil Enamel. You can always count on its durable finish. Harder than ordinary paints, its beauty lasts and lasts. Red Devil Enamel, for the finish of a lifetime.
Dear Thompson's, when the store ran out of Thompson's Water Seal, we finished our deck with another brand. What a mistake. The Thompson's side beat it up, the other side, nothing. Even the clerk agreed, nothing works like Thompson's. Sincerely, Becky Jones, Charlotte, North Carolina.
Wednesday is Earth Day, and between now and then, you're likely to see a great many stories about what we need to do to make the Earth a cleaner place. Tom Foreman found a man in Wyoming who, long before Earth Day, decided to show some respect for the planet.
For years, environmentalists have complained about cattle living on dry western land, saying they promote erosion, compete with wildlife, and use up precious water. But on the Pitchfork Ranch, manager Jack Turnell is disproving those claims.
This entire area that you're looking at has a balance. And if we mess it up, in the end, economically, we lose, we're dead, our kids have no place to go.
This is a model of environmental management where overgrazing is carefully avoided. Because older cattle tend to stay in one place, Turnell has lowered the average age of his herd. When he noticed one breed of cattle did not move much, he changed to a more active type. Now the herd constantly moves to graze on fresh ground. No one area is overly stressed. And last year, the ranch produced 300,000 more pounds of beef than 10 years ago.
I'm selling more pounds than I ever sold them in our history with the same number of cattle.
The discovery of endangered black-footed ferrets on the ranch prompted the environmental emphasis, which has since spread to other species. So where he once trapped beavers, Turnell lets them build dams, and that helps his business too, by promoting a healthier stream. In recent years, the work here at the Pitchfork Ranch has received national recognition from environmental as well as ranching groups, because it shows environment and industry can exist side by side.
We can have our cake and eat it too. That'd be my message, my number one message.
It shows that cooperation instead of confrontation can mean a healthier environment for all. Tom Foreman, ABC News, Meeteetse, Wyoming.
And by all indications, our children seem most concerned about trying to make the environment healthy. As John Martin reports, a great many children believe that Earth Day is every day.
They are decorating what they call a suitcase of dreams and making an Earth-shaped tag to go with it. They are planning to stuff the bag with letters from children calling on the world's people to protect the planet. They are going to give the suitcase to a United States senator who will take it to Brazil for an Earth summit in June.
With the air pollution and everything, I want my kids and my grandchildren and all the people in the world to be able to see what I'm seeing now.
The Earth is my home.
Liesl Werner belongs to a group called Kids for Saving Earth. It was founded in Plymouth, Minnesota by Clinton Hill. He believed children could convince adults to protect all creatures and the places they live. Clinton died of cancer 3 years ago. Since then, says his mother, 120,000 children have joined clubs to save parks, clean neighborhoods, and protect wildlife. Like Clinton, she says, they want to stop environmental destruction.
He was worried. That bothered me. And I think that's what has happened with a lot of adults. They're inspired by the kids and realizing, what have we done here? What have we left for our kids?
Children's lives are crowded these days with images of destruction, from the Saturday TV cartoons to the movie screen. This new film, Fern Gully, suggests that children can help save the last rainforest on Earth.
But how can you live without trees?
Children are trying to make a difference in real life. In Maryland, Lee Bradford and her grandfather planted an organic garden and wrote a book about it for kids.
The soil is just right now. Nice warm day.
In Los Angeles, a theater group called the Gene Pool performs an environmental play and sings.
I see a new world where people care again.
It's mainly fear that's making me want to do this, because I don't want the world to turn out the way that it can and it will, the way that we're going.
So despite the best effort of some of their elders, many children seem convinced that if they act, the world can be saved from environmental disaster. John Martin, ABC News, Washington.
It's taken 6 days, but engineers have finally plugged that tunnel leak under the Chicago River. The leak caused a devastating flood and virtually shut down business in the heart of the city. Officials say business should be nearly back to normal tomorrow. When we return to horse tales, one runs for love, the other for money.
Recently, DuPont announced that its energy unit Conoco would pioneer the use of new double-hulled oil tankers in order to safeguard the environment. The response has been overwhelmingly positive. DuPont, better things for better living.
Crystal Light. Drench yourself in a wave of refreshment. Let it wash over you. Feel it inside and out. Crystal Light. Refreshment for body and soul.
Somebody made a big mistake here.
What's that, Reach?
Well, I'm eating these Harvest Crisp crackers, and I don't get it. Here, taste one.
Okay.
How's that? Great? Huh?
That's good, hon.
Light, crispy?
It's delicious.
Aha! So what's a delicious cracker like Harvest Crisp doing in a box that says low fat, no cholesterol?
Somebody put him in the wrong box.
Well, who could have made such a mistake? Look, Joy, new Garden Crisps. Another delicious low-fat cracker. I love it.
We built this business.
I hit the brakes. You know, they're anti-lock brakes. It was close, but we stopped in time.
Build this business.
Every year they plant new trees. Dad says they make good things from trees.
After my accident, they advanced my insurance benefits and built me a ramp and got me back on my feet.
We built this business to build your dreams.
Teen first offenders face a real jury of their peers.
Would you say he was intoxicated?
Does it work? You be the judge. Peter Jennings on ABC's World News Tonight this week.
Now let's go to Ray Gandolf in New York. He's a first-rate judge of horse flesh, and he has today's sports highlights. Ray?
Thank you, Carol. Well, the Boston Celtics won the title in the NBA's Atlantic Division on this final day of the regular season. Playing again without Larry Bird, the Celtics won their 8th game in a row, beating Miami, which has never won in Boston. Robert Parrish had 22 points. The defending champion Chicago Bulls beat Detroit for their 67th win of the season. Michael Jordan has his 6th consecutive scoring title. He had 32 today. And looky here at Arazi, the prohibitive Kentucky Derby favorite, preening himself in the crystalline air of Chantilly, France. He's a small horse with a wonderful lopsided blaze and an explosive power that did this to the field in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile last fall.
Arazi runs right by him. Arazi with a dramatic move as the field turns for home. He's wide into the stretch. Just incredible move as they come to the top of the stretch by 4 now. Here indeed is a superstar. Arazi, absolutely brilliant.
Since then, Arazi has raced but once on turf against stiffs in France and won by 5 lengths. He had arthroscopic surgery on 2 knees after the Breeders' Cup, but he seems to be in tip-top condition to run for the Roses 2 weeks from yesterday. Well, so much for champions and roses. Hark now to the story of Dr. Carlos Yanes and Frank Posada of South Florida and their horse, Sally Blue, who has been to the post 106 times and won once. But she's still trying.
It's a filly who doesn't really...
Sally Blue could be a champion in Minnesota, in West Virginia, even in New Jersey.
Maybe so. But 6-year-old Sally Blue races in tough competition in Florida and has not won there in 104 starts. So why do her owners and trainer keep her around?
Sally Blue is so lovable. It's like a pet. In other words, I would not get rid of my dog or my parakeet for anything in the world. So that's why I don't get rid of Sally Blue.
She's the nicest, the quiet, gentle, sweet, and every time she runs, she cries.
But she runs like a bomb. I mean, she is not a good horse, but I love her. And I would keep her.
In Florida, a horse must have won at least once by the time it is 5 years old or quit. So, last year, Sally Blue was shipped to Pennsylvania, where she won on her 2nd effort by a head. Her purse was $1,680.
That horse, without any hesitation, cost me anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 a year. Because she eats like a horse. Bye-bye, baby. Bye-bye. See you. See you in the winner's circle.
But on this day, as on so many others, Sally Blue was a long, long way from the winner's circle.
She tries real hard, just they always outrun her. But she gives them heck there for her first half mile. What do you think? Retire her? It's up to you.
If it were up to Frank Posada, he would retire Sally Blue and breed her. Dr. Yanes would give her to an orphanage for kids to play with.
As a thoroughbred, it's no good. But as a pet, it's beautiful. I lost money, so what? She doesn't have to make money. I make the money for her. I believe that Sally Blue, in her own way, every time she sees me, she says, "Thanks, Doc, for letting me keep doing my thing."
Hang in there, Doc. Maybe next time. Carol?
What a love story. Thanks, Ray. When we come back, the best defense against the violence of Mount Etna.
They say you can please some of the people all of the time, and all of the people some of the time. But you can't please all of the people all of the time. Or can you?
Special Accord leases are now available. See your nearest Honda dealer for details.
There's change in the air. Big change. Fares with savings up to 50% in the U.S. United Airlines announces fare fares. For business travelers, first-class flyers, and vacationers, too. Now when you fly, you'll find dramatic savings and exchangeable, more flexible tickets. It's our economic plan to lift the nation. From the airline that's uniting the world. United. Come fly the friendly skies.
Hi, I'm Charles Gibson. On the next Good Morning America, the latest trends in home improvement. Then from Seville, Spain, the grand opening of Expo 92 here on Good Morning America.
It has been cold and damp around Vatican City for nearly a week. Yet on this Easter Sunday, more than 100,000 people stood in the bright sun for Pope John Paul's Easter Sunday Mass. 300 miles to the south, the people of Zeffirana were praying today for more than the usual amount of help. As Jim Laurie reports, they are once again in the dangerous path of Mount Etna.
The annual procession in the Sicilian town took on special meaning this Easter weekend. People here will still tell you how exactly 200 years ago the town was saved when a flow of volcanic lava from Mount Etna suddenly halted at the foot of the Madonna. Now, as they light their holiday fireworks, 2 miles away, nature plays with real fire. For weeks, man has tried to divert the latest lava flow using barricades and explosives and helicopters dropping concrete. But with Dio Vulcano, many believe prayer provides the more useful defense.
The Sicilians have reason to fear Etna. In the last 50 years, lava flows like this have threatened or destroyed nearby villages a dozen times. And yet people here say there's a certain attraction to living under the volcano.
There is the snow-capped beauty of Etna, and while it may crush orange groves, the lava produces the region's fertile soil. The men in the town's Piazza Umberto have seen it all. We are resigned to living in danger, says one. I've always loved the volcano, declares another. It usually leaves us alone. The town's church is still under repair after an earthquake 8 years ago, and people who lost their homes then say if the lava strikes, they'll simply rebuild once more. Near the main lava flow, which has now halted in this orchard, local farmers tell us they would not live anywhere else. One jokes he collects volcanic rock for back scratchers. Etna has been here for 200 million years. Most would agree they are but short-time guests on her slopes. Jim Laurie, ABC News, Zeffirana, Etna, Sicily.
And that's World News Sunday. I'm Carol Simpson. Have a good week and good night.
From Washington, this has been World News Sunday. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source.
Later tonight, a bounty hunter, a lady on the lam, and a gang with a grudge. Clint Eastwood as you've never seen him before. Pink Cadillac later tonight.
Many of you are now being asked to trust your business to banks that stretch over many states.
So we think it's important that you know you have a choice.
People at First American who make decisions about your banking opportunities are your neighbors.
We believe in Middle Tennessee. Our homes and families are here like yours.
You do have a choice, and we'd like to be it.
What's all the excitement? The all-new 1992 Pontiac Grand Am. Sales are hot. Grand Am has become one of the best-selling cars in the country. Grand Am has standard anti-lock brakes and a low base price. In fact, Consumers Digest calls Grand Am a best buy. Now get a real deal with financing as low as 2.9%. Grand Am, excitement and value. See the Pontiac people of Middle Tennessee and Western Kentucky.
Happy Easter from Channel 2.